Alright, hey guys, what's going on? This is Space here, and welcome to another Spacing Out Vlogs. And this isn't exactly a vlog since I'm doing this with a microphone instead of a camera or whatever. So, alright, so, in honor of Endgame coming out, I wanted to just take a moment to talk about all of the MCU movies. I've rewatched all of them very recently in preparation for Endgame, and boy, Endgame was so great. So if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out. You will not regret it at all. And so I will be talking about Endgame spoilers in this video. Now don't click off yet. I won't be talking about it until the end of the video, so yeah, you still have some space there, because there's a lot of movies in between that. But yes, I do plan on talking about a little bit of spoilers. I probably won't get into any like big stuff, whatever. We'll talk about some stuff that happens in the movie, I think. So yes, so starting off with just my background with the movies. So I saw the first one in theaters. I've seen all of them in theaters, I believe. I don't think I missed any of them. And man, I just love them so much. I've been there since day one. Well, since it's been in the movie theater day one. You know, now I'm actually there for like when the script is written and stuff. You know, of course. But yeah, I've just loved the movies so much. I love Marvel. Marvel is definitely my favorite of the comic book companies. And I used to read I used to read the comics before the movies came out, and seeing those movies and everything, like it all connected, everything just built up to like the Avengers and then everything after that. It's been so amazing. And I just love it. Some good stuff in the MCU. Very good stuff. Alright, and the one that started it all, we have Iron Man. Oh yes, so this is the very first MCU movie. This is before we knew everything would be all connected and stuff, and it would be so amazing. And boy, that was a great idea. I love Iron Man. It's still one of my favorites MCU movies. It used to be my favorites, but now I think Endgame is my favorite. And yes, I think Infinity War might be also, like, I might like it more than Infinity War, or I might like Infinity War more than I like Iron Man. But I still really love Iron Man. It's so fun visiting it again, and it's just so amazing. The cast is great. I like the soundtrack. Terrence Howard, I know he gets replaced, but I liked him as Rhodey. You know, I was kind of surprised, like I was kind of shocked actually when I saw Iron Man 2, and I was like, whoa, this isn't Terrence Howard. But I got used to it, you know. Don Cheadle is amazing as Rhodey. I'm glad he is Rhodey now. But I still kind of had that shock too when I rewatched it. I was like, whoa, what was that? Oh, that's right, Don Cheadle. Yes, okay. Yeah, yeah, it's a little shocking though. But you know, you get used to it very fast, and you just gotta love Don Cheadle. And Terrence Howard was pretty good too. Terrence Howard was pretty good too. You know. So yeah, directed by Jon Favreau. He does an amazing job. He's a great director. He's got some pretty darn good movies under his belt. And Iron Man is no exception. That was a great movie. A great way to start off the franchise too, you know? Start off with Iron Man. And yeah, I do wonder what it would be like if it started off with a different movie. But I'm glad it was Iron Man, because, you know, Tony Stark is awesome. And, you know, you have Happy Hogan as well. I love Happy Hogan, played by Jon Favreau, of course. Because of Pepper Potts, who's an amazing character. And Obadiah Stane, played by Jeff Bridges, the main villain, is pretty darn good. He's not the best villain in the MCU. Of course, that's probably going to have to go to Thanos. But he's still a memorable villain. I liked him. Of course, I said, like, once again, he's not the best villain, but he's not the worst either. I think he's maybe, like, upper half, I'd say. Maybe around, like, I don't know, like 11, 10, I don't know, really. But, yeah, you know, Iron Man. Pretty darn good. I love it. Very good, I should say. Not pretty darn good, very good. Okay, now we have The Incredible Hulk. Now, this is a somewhat unpopular opinion, but this movie, I actually kind of like it, you know? It's not... I wouldn't say it's the worst MCU movie. It's definitely not the best one, for sure. But I still enjoy it, you know? It's got Edward Norton in there as Bruce Banner, and it's kind of interesting seeing that. Like, they don't really make references to this, besides, you know, Ross returns every now and then. And I think there's a clip from it in in the Avengers, where he's like looking at all the people that are part of the Avengers, like looking at all the files and stuff. And yeah, but you know, I like this movie. I thought it was pretty good. It's cool. We got some fun action scenes. You know, with Abomination, you've got the leader, which never happened. I think his name is like Stearns or something in the movie, Professor Stearns. I don't know, Blue, if you will. And yeah, I just like the overall theme, like the overall plot's just him like trying to cure himself from the gamma stuff, you know, the gamma juice. And yeah, you know, I thought it was good, you know. Yeah, this movie just kind of doesn't. It exists in the MCU, but it just kind of never is mentioned, which I can understand why, I guess. But, you know, I still like it. I thought it was good. And this is like, I think this is the only one that's done by Universal. The Phase 1 is done by Paramount, which is really weird to think about. Even Iron Man 3, I believe, is done by Paramount too, which is really weird. But then the rest of them, of course, are Marvel Studios. So it was still Marvel Studios, I guess, but, you know, like not like this time, no Paramount. Anyways, I digress. Okay, so Iron Man 2, I like this one. I don't think it's as good as Iron Man 1, of course, and it's probably on the lower half of the MCU, but I still like it. It's still an enjoyable movie. Justin Hammer is a pretty freaking funny villain. I enjoy him as a villain. He's definitely not the best villain, but he's just kind of a fun villain. Just kind of a goofy guy. He's just really is just out of it, and he's really not that great. He's like Tony Stark if Tony Stark was like just a complete failure. And I like that. I thought that was fun. And you've got, I think his name is like Ivan or something, Whiplash, that guy. He's pretty cool too, he's a pretty good villain. I really liked Iron Man 2. Not as much, of course, as Iron Man, and not as much as a lot of the other MCU movies, I think. But I still think, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was especially, I remember having a lot of fun at the theater, which was great. So this is the last one directed by Jon Favreau too, which is interesting. I believe he was in the running to actually direct Avengers, if I'm not mistaken, but that of course went to Josh Whedon. So, yeah. Iron Man 2 is pretty good. You get to see the return of some of your favorite characters. Of course, you got Tony, you've got Pepper, you've got Happy once again. You've got Senator, I think his name is Senator Stern or something like that. Stearns and Stern. Yeah, I know. It's a little confusing. But, no one ever references that one guy that is supposed to become the leader, Stearns or whatever his name is. Professor Stearns, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. No, I think Stearns is the secretary, or sorry, the senator or whatever. I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The courtroom seems pretty funny. And there's, the action's pretty good too. Like, you have the scene with all of the hammer bots or whatever they're called. With that, and you got Whiplash. That scene is alright. It's not the best final fight, obviously, because you've got Endgame and Infinity War, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not the best villain fight, but it's over really fast, actually, when you look back at it. But it's still pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Anyways, so now we have Full, which I must say is also mildly underrated. I don't think it's as bad as some people say it is. Not everyone. Not everyone's like, hey, it's so bad. No, but some people just don't like it as much. But I feel like it's pretty good. It's directed by Kenneth Branagh, who is a Shakespearean actor. This movie does feel pretty Shakespearean, I might add too. And I don't know, it's just pretty good. I like the story. I like the idea of Thor being casted out and trying to gain some humility and all that. Get worthy again of Mjolnir. And the scene where he goes and he tries to get Mjolnir, but it doesn't work. That's a really good scene, I must say. It's probably one of the best scenes in the in Phase 1 of the MCU, I'd say. Not the best, but I'd say maybe in the top 10 or so. I don't know. It's really good though. The music is really good too. I like the main theme of Thor. I think it's pretty memorable. It's pretty epic. Everything. The actors are amazing. Of course, you got Tom Hiddleston as, of course, Loki. You've got Anthony Hopkins as Odin, and just everyone. You even got Idris Elba as Heimdall. It's pretty awesome, right? And yeah, it's pretty good. It really sets up everything pretty well. You've got Asgard, which is amazing, all golden and awesome. And yeah, I think it was good. You also have Jane, and you've got Darcy, which I actually like Darcy. I don't know if everyone did. I don't think everyone did actually, but I know she's a pretty good character. And you've got Selvig, who is the scientist guy who shows up every now and then. He was, of course, in Avengers and stuff like that. He was in Age of Ultron as well. So yeah, cool stuff. You get to know some of the side characters of Thor. You also have the Warriors 3, which if you've seen Ragnarok, yeah, but I like them. I thought they were cool. You've got I think his name is Fandor. You've got Volstagg, and you also have Hogan, who are all cool characters. They're really minor characters. You also have Lady Sif, who just disappeared. You don't even know what happens to her anymore. I think her last appearance was in not Age of Ultron, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or I think that came out after, the episode that she's in, I think that came out after Dark World, I don't know, but yeah, she just kind of disappeared, man. Although I would say it's pretty underrated. There's a lot of Dutch angles, which really is a little annoying. You Kenneth, just slow down with the Dutch angles, man. But other than that, it's pretty good. Captain America: First Avenger. Talk about underrated here. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the most underrated Marvel movies there is. It's just I just love this movie. I thought it was really good. I didn't think, of course, it was better than say Civil War or Winter Soldier, but yeah, it's still really good. I thought it was a good start to Captain America. I liked the part where he was just just the guy. He's just Captain America. He wasn't actually in battle and fighting and stuff. I thought that was pretty well done. And pretty accurate too. Soldiers with Medals of Honors and stuff like that, important soldiers and stuff would go back home and just try to get people to buy war bonds and stuff. Yeah, so I thought it was good. And all of the stuff as well there too is pretty awesome. You've got the montage with taking down all the Hydra bases. We've got the scene where he rescues Bucky and all of the guys that eventually become the Howling Commandos. I really like that. The soundtrack is good too. It was great to see the return of the main theme throughout the series. You know, it returns every now and then, and I really like the main theme. It's great. And you know, who can forget the Star Spangled Banner for playing? That scene is freaking awesome, man. It's hilarious and also just fun, very fun. And it really gets stuck in your head too, like very easily too. So yeah, and a lot of great actors in this one too. And overall, just I really like this movie. I thought it was great. And Joe Johnston only has directed one MCU movie. That'd be cool if he came back for it, but I don't think he's going to. You know, I thought he did a good job. Yeah. Alright, then you have Marvel's The Avengers. What can I say that hasn't been said about this movie? There probably isn't much that I can say that hasn't been said about this, but it's just so amazing. I remember seeing this. I was really hyped for this movie, like so hyped. And when I saw it in the theater, it's like, oh my god, this is so amazing. I just freaking love that movie, man. It just blew my mind when I saw it in the theater, and yeah, just such a great experience there too. And just like remembering it throughout that year, just like it kept on coming back in my memory. I was just like, this is so great. And just seeing everything come together and just like it all working really well. The Battle of New York was amazing. All of the lines and stuff were pretty awesome. There's some funny stuff, funny scenes. Very memorable overall. The movie was just so memorable. The main theme, how could you forget that? That theme is just awesome. And just everything about the movie is just so great. And that is Phase 1. Overall, pretty darn good. You know, you have Iron Man 2 in there, which is still, I think, a good movie. Not as good, but still pretty good. And you have The Incredible Hulk, which I think is good, but other people don't think it's so good. But you know, yeah, you have some little rough patches, if you will. But you know, overall, it's pretty darn good, especially when it leads to the end, the Avengers. Just the build up with like Nick Fury and stuff, and you have Coulson going all over the place, really good. And you also have like, you have Natasha in Iron Man 2, and then you have Hawkeye very briefly in Thor. That was great. I like that. That was good decision on their part. So now we're going into Phase 2. We've got Iron Man 3. Now, Iron Man 3 is a movie that I do enjoy, but I do admit it's probably I don't know if it's my least favorite Iron Man or not. It's hard to decide between that and 2. I like the story. I thought the story was pretty good. Just Mandarin being like just some sort of actor like really bothered me for a while, but now I'm over it. You know, it's fine. I'm fine with that. You know, really, Killian is the Mandarin, so, you know, I don't know. It's kind of a weird choice, and I don't know, but I still liked it. Overall, I think it's a fun movie to watch, despite that. It doesn't really affect the MCU all that much, honestly. You get to, like, the aftermath of Avengers, which I thought was good, you know, seeing, like, Tony, like, struggle with that. I thought that was good, and, yeah, I'd say actually it does affect it a little bit. It probably leads a little more to like the happenings of Age of Ultron. So yeah, I guess it's a good starting point for the MCU for Phase 2. And yeah, it's cool to see some of your favorite characters, of course, some characters coming back from the Iron Man movies, of course, appear in some other movies too. But you also have, of course, Killian, who's pretty good, played by Guy Pearce, good actor. But yeah, Killian's alright. He's not the best MCU villain, but he's not bad, I guess. The Mandarin, like, really menacing at first, but then, yeah, he just loses it all with Trevor, but that's okay. Yeah, overall, it's pretty good. Alright, so we've got Thor: The Dark World. Personally, my least favorite of the MCU movies, I'd say, but I still enjoy it. I think it's pretty good. The only real reason that it's important is because of the reality stone, which, you know, whatever. The main villain, Malekith, is probably the worst villain in the MCU. But yeah, other than that though, you know, I just like seeing like Thor and all of his characters like meet up again and stuff. And you've got Zachary Levi as Fandral, because the other guy, I don't remember his name, was in Once Upon a Time, so he had to either choose between that or Thor 2, and he chose Once Upon a Time, which I probably would have too. I don't know. Would I have? I don't know. I've never seen Once Upon a Time, so I don't know how successful that is, but anyways, what am I saying here? Yeah, For the Dark... No, who am I kidding? Of course I chose in Dark World. Anyways, I need to shut up. This probably pays more. Okay, anyways, so, so yeah. So, it was directed by Alan Taylor, who I have no idea what else he's directed. He's directed West Wing, 6 Feet Under. Okay, 6 Feet Under. Game of Thrones. You know, he's directed some stuff, but he really, yeah, yeah, it was alright, I guess. You know, I personally enjoy it. Like watching, I rewatched it, and I was like, yeah, this is fun. This is fun to watch, but it's not the best. But you know, it's like I said, it's just fun. You know, just gotta take it for what it is. And the scene with the Collector, that's the first time we see the Collector. That was really cool. I like that. That was a good scene. Okay, so now we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. My goodness, this is an amazing movie. The first one from the Russo Bros. So yes, they have a really good streak in the MCU, and boy, oh boy, they haven't broken it with with an alright movie or just like an average movie, they've kept up the quality, man. It's great. This one is really unique. First off, for starters, you introduce Sam Wilson, awesome. Anthony Mackie does an amazing job as Sam, aka the Falcon. And boy, I just love his character. I'm glad he's still around in the MCU. That is great. And yes. So yeah, The Winter Soldier is such a unique movie. It's not exactly like it is a superhero at heart, but you know, it's more of like a spy espionage like sort of dealio there too, which I thought was really well done. Like, it's really unique. Probably one of the most unique movies in the MCU, just in terms of like the genres it kind of adds into the movie. And Alexander Pierce is an amazing villain. I think for me, he's probably like top 10. He's really good. As well as, of course, Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Finally get to see him in action. Of course, you know, you've got like the scene at the end. I believe it's Captain America's First Avenger. That would make sense. The end scene is him basically becoming the Winter Soldier, you know, more or less. But yeah, seeing him for the first time is great, and he's really well done too. He's a great villain as well. Of course, he becomes like a hero, but you know, the Winter Soldier is it's awesome, very cool. And the movie overall is great. It's like the plots, loved it. Just everything about it really is just awesome, really good. Definitely top 10 for me as well. Top 10 MCU movies. And of course, speaking of top 10 MCU movies, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy. Woohoo! Yes. James Gunn is an amazing director, another one of the best directors of the MCU. It's just got a nice style to it. It's got just a lot of fun dialogue, a lot of great characters, a lot of really emotional moments too. Like the movie just starts off with Peter's mother dying, man. It's pretty dark, man. And yeah, just like from then on though, it gets a lot of funny moments. You also got like some emotional moments, like when Groot dies. Of course, he comes back, obviously. And when they're just holding the stone together, that was really amazing. That was a great scene right there. And Ronan is alright, you know. Watching it now, I'm like, you know, Ronan he's fine, I guess, but you know, he's yeah, I'll just say, yeah, he's fine as a villain. You know, it really doesn't really affect the movie too much that he was an alright villain, but you know, overall, yeah, but you know, the movie overall is amazing, yeah. And the soundtrack, man, good stuff. Okay, so Age of Ultron, the last MCU movie so far, directed by Joss Whedon, and you know, it's pretty good. I don't know, it's obviously not as good as the first Avengers, and honestly, I'd probably say it's on the lower half of the MCU, but I still enjoy it. You know, I feel like it's a good movie, but it just doesn't hold up, I guess. Not necessarily hold up, but just like it doesn't meet the expectations of the other movies, like how good they were compared to that. So I guess that's why. Like if it wasn't compared to anything, I'd say it's a pretty good movie. But when you compare it to like the other movies, it is weaker. But you know, overall, it's a fun movie to watch. So nonetheless, it's entertaining. Ultron in the beginning was really good. Like when he was like all creepy and stuff. I wish they would have stayed with that instead of making him like sort of comedic, which is fine. But you know, I feel like he would have been better as like a creepy, like menacing villain instead of like more comedic, which is what they went with there, which is kind of weird, but you know, I don't know. Yeah, but seeing the interactions with the characters, like the kind of build-up of Civil War, you know, with kind of like the friction there a little bit with Steve and Tony, and you know, yeah, that was pretty good. And you also get to see more Hawkeye finally. He wasn't really in the Avengers all that much, and I like his character. It was great seeing more of him as well as his family. That was cool. Great introduction to those characters right there. And yeah, you know, it's pretty good. Ultron, if Ultron was better as a character, I think the movie would have been better. But, you know, overall, it's pretty good. You also get an introduction to Ulysses Claw, which I thought was cool. It's a good way to add that in there and then come back to it later with Black Panther. So there you go. And then last and certainly not least of Phase 2, we have Ant-Man. I really enjoyed this movie. I saw this with my friend Charlie over the summer of 2015. That was a great time. Peyton Reed is also another pretty darn good director in the MCU. I wouldn't say he's the best, but he is one of the better ones, I'd say. One of the ones that has a pretty good track record, too. You know, he's done the first 2 Ant-Man movies, and I think that's good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Sadly, Edgar Wright did not get to direct this movie. He did get the writing credits for it. One of the writing credits, you know, of course, it also has Joe Cornish, Adam McKay, and Paul Rudd. Interesting. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen like what he would have done with Ant-Man. I think it would have been so amazing. I love Edgar Wright. He's a great director. But Peyton Reed did a good job too. So yeah, I thought this movie was a lot of fun. I'd say it's probably a little underrated too. I don't think really people look onto this as like a really good MCU movie. I think it's pretty darn good. I know it's not the best MCU movie, of course, but I still think it's pretty good. I like it a lot. And yeah, of course, it introduces Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. He does such an amazing job. And yeah, just everyone in the movie just does such an amazing job too, especially Scott's friends, you know, Louise and all of them. Great stuff. And yeah, I feel it was good. It's very good. Good solo movie. Yeah, alright, so now we are on to phase 3. This phase is like really solid, I must say. It's just like all greatness. Like even the worst movie in this phase is actually still really good. I don't even know what the worst film in this in phase 3 is, but you know, I say worst like it has a negative connotation, but I just mean like not as good as the rest, which I guess still has kind of negativeness. We know like it's still good, but it's just not as good as the rest. I don't know. Anyways, so we start off with Captain America: Civil War. The Russos back at it again, and geez, it's such an explosive movie to start off the phase of. That's amazing. I feel like I do like this one better than Winter Soldier, but Winter Soldier and that are like neck and neck, man. They're both like really good, and it makes Tony into kind of like an antagonist, which I thought was really interesting that they did that. So yeah, and you know, of course, it's just like one of those like really big movies. It was like this is what Batman v Superman should have been like, but it wasn't. So it's just, yeah, one of those like really humongous events in movies, and yeah, I like the storyline of Zemo and all of his doings. Like Zemo is like, I feel like he's also a little underrated too. I think he's like easily one of the best MCU villains. He's such a great villain. He's not as good as Thanos, of course, but he's still like, he's really good villain. He's just like the guy that just pulls the strings. He isn't really like the center focus, like, you know, like Loki is like, he's out there, it's like, it's me, Loki. No, he's just the guy that's behind the scenes pulling all the strings. That's what makes his character really good. And he actually succeeds too. He's the first villain to succeed. I guess, you know, I guess Loki sort of succeeded in Thor, kind of, a little bit. I don't know. But, you know, he's one of the few villains that actually win against the Avengers, because in the end, he does win. Yes. So, next we have Doctor Strange. I really love Doctor Strange. I like his character, Doctor Strange in general. Like I really liked him in Doctor Strange, but I loved him in Infinity War. So yeah, but overall though, his solo movie is great. Kaecilius is a pretty good villain. He's not the best villain in Phase 3, but he's pretty good. He's fairly memorable, I should say. And you also have Dormammu, who just kind of appears at the end, so he's not really the main focus. He's kind of the main villain, kind of, I guess, since, you know, Kaecilius is working for him, serving him. I don't know. But overall, though, I really like this movie. I like the introduction to all of the realms and whatnot, all of the mystic arts and stuff like that. So it was great. And yeah, Doctor Strange is an awesome character. Of course, you've got Wong, who's also an amazing character, and I assume we're going to see Mordo eventually. Also have the Ancient One, who's a pretty great character too. And you have his love interest, who's played by Michelle McAdams. I think that's her name. I don't remember her name in the movie though. I don't remember, but she's good in it though. She's good, and she's coming back for the sequel, I think. So that's great. Hopefully she won't get Jane Fostered. But yes, overall, yeah, good. I really liked it. Alright, so then you have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I don't really know which one I like better, the first one or the second one. I think I probably have to go with the first one, but the second one is still really good. It also has a great villain, unlike the first one, you know. Ronan is pretty good, like I said before, but he's not like the best villain. But Ego is really good. I liked Ego. I thought he was a great villain. He's really personal too for Peter. Like that's his father right there, man. He's like really powerful too. Like he's like a freaking planet. He has like these like powers and stuff, man. He's crazy. And all, of course, great performances in like all the MCU movies. I don't think any of them have had bad performances, so not that I can think of. But oh man, it's a great movie. Has a great soundtrack. Once again, James Gunn knocks it out of the park. I love the story as well as the introduction to Mantis. It's cool to see your character. I enjoy your character. And, you know, just all of the interactions. The interactions are really amazing. I love all the character interactions in this movie. And okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming. This movie was good. It's very entertaining, I must say. It's probably one of the most entertaining Marvel movies. I'd say just pure entertainment. It's just, it's a lot of fun. The twist with Vulture being like Wiz's dad, that was really good. I was like, oh my god. when he opens the door, it's like, oh, that was good. I like that a lot. The writing was pretty fun too. I like Tom Holland especially. He just does an amazing job as Peter. I do like Tobey Maguire. That's my favorite Spider-Man, but I grew up with him. What can you say? What can I say? But Tom Holland does a really good job too. I said Tom Holland. That's a very weird way to say it, but you know, Tom Holland does an amazing job as the Amazing Spider-Man. Not the Amazing Spider-Man as in Andrew Garfield, but you know, you know what I mean. So yeah, I like his performance. I also like all of the characters that it has in the movie, like Ned. You've got Michelle. You've got you've got Flash, kind of, and you have you know, just like all these characters that are just awesome. And it's a new take on the story too, which I like. You know, a little refreshing too. You know, you don't always have to be comic book accurate, I must say. over the years I've learned that, I've just like really started to understand, it doesn't matter. Like, comic book accuracy maybe is good like in some aspects of some stuff. Like, you don't want to go off the wall, but you also, you don't have to stick to it, man. You can like do your own thing, which works. It really works. Sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time it works. And I do feel like this movie, as a Spider-Man movie, is alright. I feel like there are better Spider-Man movies out there, but overall, this movie is like really entertaining. So that's the plus side and the benefit right there. And the opening scene, or sorry, not the opening scene, but like the scene with Peter in Civil War, that was great. I like that. That was really fun. Okay, like I said, overall, very fun. And you also have Tony in it too, which I actually do like. I know he was in that a lot, but a lot more than he was going to be in, which I think is fine. It's good seeing Tony. Okay. So we have Thor Ragnarok, which, oh my goodness, it's so good. So funny too, just so many funny moments. I mean, just everything about this movie. I don't even know what to say about this movie besides it's just so great. I just love it a lot. Easily the best Thor movie. I'd say Thor, the original, the first one, is the second best, but this one really is just like very far above that one. But man, this movie, so much fun. The style is really great. I love the style. It's kind of similar to Guardian style, but like it still has its own like freshness, its own little personal touch to it. It has like that sort of 80s nostalgia a little bit there too, which is great. The soundtrack is pretty fun as well. Grandmaster, hilarious. Hela is pretty darn good too. It introduces Korg and Meek, who I really love. I love Korg especially, as well as Valkyrie, who's a really awesome character as well. Overall, this movie just like knocks it out of the park. This movie just, I guess, probably exceeds expectations with how good it was. It was awesome. Getting down to the nitty gritty, here we go. We have Black Panther. This movie was amazing. I saw it twice in the movie theater, which was a lot of fun. Saw it once with my friend and once with my family. And yeah, I think it did get a little overrated, but overall I think it was really good nonetheless. I've seen it actually a lot. I've seen it like 5 times or something. I don't know. I've seen it a lot though. I saw it with my cousins at their house when we watched it. I think twice actually, because like it's brothers. So one of them was working, so I saw it with him, and the other one, while the other one was working, I saw it with him. So yeah, I saw it a lot of times. The soundtrack is pretty good. Did you get best soundtrack? I don't know. I know it got some Oscars, which is great. So it's awesome. There's one theme I really like when he's on like the ancestral plane. That was so powerful and stuff. That was great. The main theme is pretty good too. Very memorable, which I like. I like memorable themes. There's a lot of memorable themes in the MCU, by the way. I'm going to break off for a second, take a little right turn right here. So, the Captain America theme, very memorable. The Thor theme, actually, for me, is pretty memorable. For some other guys, you might not remember what it is, but I like it. I remember it. You also have the Guardians theme, which is really good, too. You have the Ant-Man theme, also great. Of course, the Avengers theme, obviously. That's pretty much obvious right there. As well as, let's see, there's something else I was thinking of, too. Doctor Strange theme is pretty noticeable. Like, the style of it is pretty memorable with the harpsichord and whatnot. Spider-Man Homecoming theme actually has grown on me a lot. I used to be like, it's fine, but now I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. I like it. It's not super actiony, but it's got like a nice sort of like, I don't know, I don't want to say jazzy, but like just relaxed sort of feel to it, which is nice. Anyways, so Black Panther, a lot of fun. Good performances once again. Great direction. What else can I say about this movie? The visual is really good too. I liked the look of Wakanda, as well as the villain. Killmonger was really darn good as well, played of course by Michael B. Jordan, and he just knocks it out of the park, man. He's just probably one of the best. I wouldn't say the best. Obviously, you've got Thanos, you've got Loki, but I would say he was a good villain. It's good, and yeah, overall, just good movie. Yeah, pretty darn solid. A nice, solid piece in the MCU. Then we have Infinity War. What can I really say about that hasn't already been said once again? It is amazing. Thanos actually wins. That was a great little twisty twist right there. And, it's pretty rare when the villain wins. The villain won in Civil War. Loki kind of won after a fashion a little bit. And Thor kind of a little bit, maybe. But other than that, yeah, like how many other times has the villain won? So, yeah, that was good. Thanos is amazing in this movie. He's definitely stands out. He's in this movie a lot too. He's basically the main character, which I thought was really interesting, really well done too. And everything, just like the fight scenes and stuff, is great. The story is great too. Seeing everyone interact with each other, especially Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy, freaking hilarious. And just a lot of good moments in this movie. And the end is really good too. The end was just like, whew, so good. Okay, so Ant-Man and the Wasp, another one that I believe, in my opinion, is underrated. It's a lot of fun. It's very wholesome, very, very wholesome movie. and just a good time. Especially it's like it feels good after watching Infinity War to watch that. You know, you're like that's the end of Infinity War is like, ooh, oh jeez, man. And then when you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, you're just like, yeah, exciting and fun and action filled and pretty darn good. Ghost is pretty good. She's not my favorite villain of Phase 3, but I think she's pretty good. I guess she's not probably in the lower half, I'd say, but she's still pretty good. Understandable why she's a villain, so that's a good part right there. And Lawrence Fishburne, his character name escapes me, does a good job too. And yeah, overall, I think it's a fun sequel. I think it was a great sequel. I don't know which one I like better. I don't know, honestly. But seeing the Wasp too, that was great. Like she said in the end of Ant-Man about dang time. She didn't use dang though. So yeah, another Peyton Reed movie. He does a good job. Yes. Like I said before, a pretty solid sequel. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to Endgame, so we're getting into Captain Marvel now, so yeah, just be warned, the Endgame spoilers may be coming pretty soon. Alright, anyways, so we've got Captain Marvel, which I actually really liked. The first time I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is good. The second time I saw it twice. Yes, I did. I was like, yeah, this is good. I liked it even more the second time. And I guess I can understand why people don't like it as much as like some of the other Marvel movies, but I thought it was pretty good. I would personally like rate it like about halfway in terms of goodness, like where I'd rate it on my like MCU list, which I don't know if I can do that, the ranking of the MCU. I'd say it's about halfway, maybe a little above halfway. I liked it. I thought it was really good. Good introduction to Captain Marvel. It has a great intro. Like it shows you like well, it just gives you an idea of what will happen later in the movie, and I thought that was great. Seeing her interactions with Fury was so great. Seeing young Fury in general was great. Seeing Coulson again, great. He wasn't in the movie that long, but he was great. It was great. Yeah, the characters are pretty good too. Jude Law's character, I don't even remember it. I look it up and then I always forget it. He was pretty good. I liked him. He wasn't the best villain, but he was pretty good. You get to see Ronan, barely, but that's cool. It's cool. A nice little reference there, Ronan. Yeah, it was just, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, enjoyable movie. Not the best in Phase 3, but still solid. Pretty darn good. Alright, here is Endgame. So, what can I say without saying any spoilers? Freaking just like, my favorite MCU movie. It's just, oh my goodness, just so amazing. Honestly, like there's a final battle which is like really incredible, but I feel like my favorite part is like maybe like about the middle section. So we're gonna get into spoilers now, so you may as well click off. If you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. You really need to see Endgame, like I'm serious, watch it. If you've seen spoilers, I'm so sorry. That really sucks, but I hope you guys haven't seen spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, if you've seen the movie and you've seen spoilers, like you saw the spoilers after the movie, then you're good. But you know, anyways, Endgame. Holy crap, man. I saw it twice, and I was just everything. I just absolutely loved the movie so much. It's just such a great ending to the Infinity Saga. It's just so good. The thing that I was talking about, the thing that I liked the most was the time travel. I thought the time travel was just so awesome, seeing like the Battle of New York for one. All of the hilarious scenes in that scene, just like seeing what happens after like they capture Loki was so cool. I really like that. And like of course the elevator scene, and nod to Winter Soldier. I was dying. That was hilarious. Steve versus Steve, that was freaking hilarious too. Just everything. Vormir of course was very sad. That was like a really intense scene. It's like, oh my god, who's gonna like jump into the pits? And as you can see, someone did jump into the pits. It was cool seeing of course Red Skull again. You know, it's cool. Cool, very cool. It was a very surprising comeback in Infinity War. I was like, what? That was cool. I like that. And seeing him again was cool. I was like, yeah, there he is. It's that boy. Yeah, you get to see a lot of characters come back too, which was so great. It's like seeing Howard. That scene with Tony and Howard, that was so great. It was very heartwarming. And yeah, seeing a young Hank Pym, that was really cool too. From the 70s, of course. We've seen a younger Hank Pym in Ant-Man, but we now see an even younger one in Endgame. That was pretty cool. It was pretty brief, but still cool. You see a return of a lot of characters, like I said before, and of course characters that have already been in the movies. Wait, what am I saying? Of course, the characters that have already been like in Infinity War and stuff, but as well as characters that haven't been in the movies for a while. So that was awesome. The Thor Dark World scene was great too. Thor talking to his mom, Thor in general, freaking, which is pretty funny. And seeing Korg and Meek again, as well as Valkyrie, that was great. I love that. New Asgard, that was cool. And the ending is really exciting too. Like all the stuff that is going to be coming up in Phase 4, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it's gonna be great. I'm very excited for that. And I feel like they've started setting that up in the end of Endgame. Seeing old Steve, that was pretty cool too. Seeing him finally get his dance of Peggy, that was great. I love that. The soundtrack, of course, blew it out of the water. That was great. The ending fight scene where everyone just comes out, that was just so awesome. Is that everyone? What, do you want more? That was great. Just like everyone was there. That was so cool. And yeah, like I said, the time travel scenes, the was that Morag? That was pretty funny. That was hilarious. Seeing Peter just like sing and just get bashed in the head. That was hilarious. And yeah, just everything. Just everything. Yeah, like seeing everything that happens like after the snap. That was awesome too. Like seeing Scott's walking around in the world and like see what happened. Like seeing like the vanishing people, like all of the memorial to them. And seeing Cassie, that was crazy. Like I didn't expect her to be on Snap, and she was there. And I guess she's like 15 years old because I think she was 10 in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So 5 years later, it's 15. Speaking of Ant-Man and the Wasp, dude, the ending scene for that is so amazing. The end credit scene, that's great. That's really good. Like Scott being in the quantum realm, and then like Hope and Janet and Hank just vanishing. That was really good. That was great. Yes, just, oh, man, everything about it. Even the kid from Iron Man 3, I think his name is Haley, something like that. Starts with an H, has like E. Yeah, but seeing him return, that was cool. Very, very briefly, but I was like, oh my goodness, there he is. Yeah, and the scene with the Ancient One in the Battle of New York, that was really cool too. I like that. That was awesome. And overall, man, just, woo, so good. Woo! Alright. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me just talking about the MCU for a little bit. I'm very excited for the future. I don't think they can top Endgame as of right now. I don't feel like they will, but you never know. You never know. But the future is very bright, especially that Black Widow solo film, which is, of course, a prequel, obviously. But it'll be great. I'm excited for that. I really like Black Widow, and it's cool to see her once again. Probably for the last time, I'd imagine. Or, I don't know. You never know what the future holds. But anyways, thank you for watching.